everyone. Well, thanks for tuning in to Gospel Music USA. My name is Danny Jones. I'm with Singing News Magazine. That's Mike Lefevre of the Lefevre Quartet, and standing between Mike and myself is our mom, Karen Peck Gooch of Karen Peck and New River.
There you go.
So we are glad that you have tuned in today. And guys, we've got one of America's favorite quartets with us today, don't we?
Absolutely.
We do.
All the way from Reedsville, North Carolina, and I love quartet singing. I do. I'm partial to it, I gotta tell you. But I love mixed groups too.
Thank you.
Okay.
Well, you have to say that because I'm standing here. But I agree with you. We have one of the finest quartets in gospel music.
And these guys have really been on a roll lately. Yes. Several #1 songs, appearances all across the nation. Would you say hello today to the Down East Boys?
In those moments, I can feel the sunshine. It isn't hard at all to keep the faith. But on those days, when valleys bring me shadows, I need to be reminded how my life was changed. My sin calls my Lord across because He interceded to take my place and offer graces when a love succeeded. He guarantees His work in me will one day be completed. That's just what I needed. He has promised He will never leave me, and nothing separates me from His hand. I count upon His boundless love and mercy. He took care of my future one day in the past. My sin He calls my Lord across because He interceded to take my place and offer graces when a love succeeded. He guarantees His work in me will one day be completed. That's just what I needed. His ways are always greater than mine. Just like that day at Calvary, He always provides. My sin it cost my Lord a cross because He interceded to take my place and offer graces when a love succeeded. He guarantees His work in me will one day be completed. That's just what I needed. Sin cost my Lord a cross because He interceded to take my place and offer graces when a love succeeded. He guarantees His work in me will one day be completed. That's just what I needed. That's just what I needed. That's just what I needed.
Well, thanks so much. It is so good to be coming into your home today with good gospel music, and we're honored to be here. Here's a song that I hope you've maybe heard on the radio somewhere along the way, a song that was written about my grandfather and his life and how important he was to me. And maybe this will take you back to a memory of somebody in your life, a grandma, a grandpa, mom or dad. And I hope today this song encourages you. Listen real close to this, called Those Hands.
They've known love and they've known pain. They've got scars that real life brings. They've been without, they've been shook. They've given more than they ever took. Those hands were like no others. Those hands knew how to hold. When life got hard, they got stronger. They picked me
I felt alone. They've been places far from home. They've helped neighbors and they've helped friends. They've shown me how I should live. Those hands were like no others. Those hands knew how to hold. When life got hard, they got stronger. They picked me up time and time again. Those hands, it was those hands. They've seen nails, they've seen wood. They made a way when nothing could. God's hands are like no others. Those hands knew how to hold. When life gets hard, they're still stronger. They've picked me up time and time again. Those hands, it was those hands.
Welcome back to Gospel Music USA. I'm Danny Jones, Karen Peck, and that is Mike Lefevre over there. Our guest today, the Down East Boys from Reidsville, North Carolina. And Ricky, on your last visit with us, we started talking about some of the #1 songs. When the very first #1 song for the Down East Boys came along, Beat Up Bible, you made a comment to me that has stuck with me ever since, and this was this. You know, you guys have experienced this too. When your song goes #1, you get the congratulations call from different people. But Ricky said what touched him the most was not only did he hear from his record company and his booking agent, things like that, but were the number of other groups who called Ricky and said congratulations.
Yeah.
And that was just one example of why Southern gospel music is such a big family. You've been a part of this for so long. Everybody was in your corner pulling for you in the group.
It was really neat because we were in Oregon. We were Beaver Creek, Oregon. We were doing a West Coast tour of 30 days, and we were on the last week of it, so we were beat, you know, really felt bad. And the phone rang, and it was Rick from Singing News. And he said, hey, I got some good news for you. And I didn't even know what to say. I really didn't. And I went to the front and told the guys, and we're all sitting up there, you know, snotting and carrying on. I mean, it was a neat feeling. That's not what you do it for. If it was 30 years ago, I'd have quit. But it was neat to have that. And then when they posted it, Mike, I know he sent us a text almost instantly. I didn't get one from Karen, but I did get, no, I'm kidding. I did.
She mailed hers.
She mailed hers. It
You
was
got
hard.
it from me at convention that year when you were getting your #1 plaque.
That's right. Absolutely. And it
so
was
excited.
it was neat. All the
You got a
people-
#1.
We got a plaque. Did you not get a plaque?
Wow.
Danny will take care of that.
It's in the mail. It's in the mail.
But all the groups, really, we're so close. We talk to each other during the week. You know, people are always checking on you if something happens. I just texted a guy last night, his bus broke down, and I said, hey, you know, have you got what you need, or is everything okay? We can't be of any help. We're 8 hours apart, but it's just the thought of knowing, hey, somebody's thinking about you, and it's a little encouragement at that moment. And that's the way that was for us. It was just encouraging to know all those folks who you know every day, and you are intertwined lives, were pulling for you and wanted that to happen for you.
It's a big support group.
It is.
Doug, who has been the influence in your life from a musical standpoint?
So when I was really young, I used to help my aunt clean our little church in Eastman, Georgia. I was about 10 years old, and she loved to sing. And I would follow behind her. It was one of those big vacuum cleaners, and I'd push it, and she would start singing. So she was one of my first influences. She had a big voice, like Vestal Goodman. So that was kind of my introduction into that. And then later on, when I went to music school, I still love gospel music. So having David Phelps having that classical influence on his voice was a huge influence on me then, because I wanted to sing gospel, but I wanted to maintain what I had learned while I was in music school. And then when I joined the bus with these guys, I'd known the cathedrals, but I didn't know the kind of influence that they had had on this industry. And I remember the first weekend I was on the bus, these guys introduced me to Danny Funderburk, and I was blown away. Yeah. So I would say now leaning more towards Danny, but definitely David and my aunt from back in the day.
And we could ask the same question of Daryl down there, but Daryl's got that look on his face like, oh, please don't ask me to answer that question.
Well, my parents, my dad had a group back in the 80s and traveled, you know, playing the bass, and we saw all the groups traveling up and down the road, and one of my biggest influences, and that's what I was showing him, was the cathedrals. And I was there that night, traveling live, was videoed at the LJV, it was Reynolds Auditorium. Sitting there, and I was just blown away. I was like, this is what I want to do.
And here you are.
And yeah.
And, you know, it's amazing the impact those guys are still having.
Yes.
But then you hear somebody like Doug who never saw that. And we were fortunate to see it.
Right, we were all
And
there.
so we think it's awesome, but we got to experience that. These guys in this age bracket, they didn't see that, and so it's all new for them when they hear it.
Very quickly before we go to break, though, a lot of people that have come and gone, they will never get to experience Alex.
Right.
So, Alex, before we go to the break, who has been your influence?
I'd probably say my granddad. My granddad got me and my brother in Southern gospel music, and we've been singing ever since.
Well,
That's sweet.
and there you go. All right, folks, we're going to come back in just a few moments and let these guys do what they do best, and that is sing gospel music. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned to Gospel Music USA.
I hope you're ready for some more great gospel music. You're listening to Gospel Music USA and our special guests today, the Down East Boys. Here they are.
It may look like I have it all together when you see me with a smile on my face. But if you knew me before I knew my Savior, then you know what has brought me to this place. Before the cross, my life was broken and empty. All my hopes were forsaken and lost. But something happened the day I met Jesus. My life was changed when I knelt before the cross. I was searching for peace and sweet contentment. Then I came into a fountain filled with grace, where the thirsty can always find salvation. When I drink this living water, I got saved. Before the cross, my life was broken and empty. All my hopes were forsaken and lost. But something happened the day I met Jesus. My life was changed when I knelt before the cross. My life was changed. My life was changed. Before the cross, my life was broken and empty. All my hopes were forsaken and lost. But something happened the day I met Jesus. My life was changed when I knelt before the cross. But something happened the day I met Jesus. My life was changed when I knelt before the cross. Some folks are building hopes down here and planning ahead. So busy with their fortunes, they forgot what Jesus said about the wars and earthquakes and the fig trees budding leaves. But there's a group of people getting ready to leave in the twinkling of an eye, making investments in the bank up in the sky. Happy preparation's not a reason to grieve. Are you in that number getting ready to leave? Sinner, what's the reason for your needless delay? While you're hesitating, Christ could come back any day. Well, heed the Spirit's move, make the way to Calvary, and get in that number, getting ready to leave. Ready to leave in the twinkling of an eye, making investments in the bank up in the sky. Happy preparation's not a reason to grieve. Are you in that number, getting ready to leave? Ready to leave in the twinkling of an eye, making investments in the bank up in the sky. Happy preparation's not a reason to grieve. Are you in that number, getting ready to leave? Ready to leave in the twinkling of an eye, making investments in the bank up in the sky. Happy preparation's not a reason to grieve. Are you in that number? Are you in that number? Are you in that number? Get ready. Get ready to leave. to leave in the twinkling of an eye, making investments in the bank up in the sky. Happy preparations, not a reason to grieve. Are you in that number? Get ready to leave. Ready to leave in the twinkling of an eye, making investments in the bank up in the sky. Happy preparations, not a reason to grieve. Are you in that number? Are you in that number? Are you in that number? Get ready. Get ready to
Love that. I was over here singing. Well, now that's a blast from the past.
That is an old song that we brought back on the new project, and I love those fast old songs like that.
Yes, I love that. So it made me happy. It made me smile. I know you at home agree with that as well.
Absolutely.
Thank you all for being with us today.
It's been a pleasure.
It's been a pleasure for us, and I know every one of you at home have enjoyed the Down East Boys. And again, Ricky, tell us how to get in touch with you.
Absolutely. They can go to our website, downeastboys.com. Our phone numbers, email, everything's there. So look us up, find us on Facebook, all the social platforms, and we'd love to hear from you.
Yeah. Hey, and tell us about that new record.
A new CD is coming out in just, I think, a month or so. So look it up on all your streaming platforms, Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Music. And hey, order the CD online. Always you can do that.
Yes.
So order from us, and I think they'll like the new music.
Hey, I'll tell you this. There's something about having that CD in your hand.
Yes.
I mean, I love the streaming and downloads, and I do that. But there's something about having that CD. So I like to look at the jacket and look at who wrote
All
the
inside
songs.
and see, sure.
Yeah, I just love having that. I really do. And I know all of you will enjoy their new CD, their music. These guys are just doing such a great job. Thank you for your prayers for the Down East Boys. Thank you for praying for Gospel Music USA, and we sure hope that you'll go to our Facebook page, like the page, and keep in touch with us. We'll see you again next week, and we have another song from the Down East Boys. Love y'all.
Truth gets lost, lines get blurred, we reject what's right from wrong. And I need a faith that's steady, stable, sure, and strong. When pure and evil's doing good, and doubt's on every side, I wanna stand on a true foundation, don't wanna fall for the devil's lie. Don't know, maybe so watered down religion. I want that old-time Holy Ghost fire inside of me. Don't wanna guess about it, think about it, gotta be sure to know. I want the positively real thing, don't wanna maybe so. Up one day, down the next, it's a roller coaster life. Lord, let my trust be firmly grounded for the ride. When twisted times have turned the tide,